it was a bit strange hearing the president say that there is no federal solution to this, because it seems all he's done so far is implement federal mask mandates, federal vaccine mandates, and try to sue states that push back against it. So what's happened here? How has this about turn happened?
That's a wild show of humility from a party that says that they have a religious obligation to control the weather, to say that they actually maybe can't stop Omicron, they can't stop disease dead in its tracks, no matter how many mandates or other kind of policies they put into effect. Now, here in Washington, D.C., we're not getting that exact same kind of thing, where they're shutting down schools again, even though that hasn't worked for 2 years, where they're putting new mandates in businesses, even though that hasn't worked. They've been pushing. It's been unpopular. It's not been doing anything except for getting the tests, which is something that they really messed up on. But here's the reality. I mean, I just spent my Christmas and Christmas Eve with about 25 family members. When you have people like my parents flying in from Florida, when you have college kids coming home, when you have kids who are Petri dishes coming into the Christmas party, when you stay up too late, when you drink too much, you might feel sick, you might feel ill, and if you can't get access to a test, if you feel sick, then stay home. And if you're trying to stay healthy, then take your vitamins, drink water, get some sleep. These are just realities that humanity has dealt with for so long, but we put so many moral constructs, so many moral stigmas around COVID, the isolations, the who did you give it to, did you kill grandma, the we're all in this together, that it's debilitating us for something that really humanity's been dealing with for a long time, which is called getting sick in the wintertime.
Yeah, you mentioned the testing then. Of course, one of the big issues has been trying to get a test. I myself waited in a line for hours trying to get one the other day. And it's remarkable. And if you look back to 2020, President Biden was talking about testing then, but nothing seemed to happen. Have a listen to what he said back in 2020.
This is not like March of 2020, the beginning of the pandemic. We're prepared and we know what it takes to save lives, protect people, and keep schools and businesses open. We just have to stay focused and continue to work together. My message to the governor is simple. If you need something, say something.
We need to scale up testing so anyone who needs one can get a test. After 10 months of the pandemic, we still don't have enough testing. It's a travesty.
So what happened there? I mean, he was talking about testing back in 2020, but here we are scrambling to get some. 500 million have been ordered. It's likely they won't arrive until the Omicron variant has almost disappeared next year. So what happened? What went wrong there?
It's a complete bungling by the administration. They've had their focus on the wrong things. They've been trying to push new social programs, new spending, as opposed to trying to focus on what their promises were. And really, as opposed to focusing on any of the crises that we've had to be dealing with in this country, whether it's the border or whether it's trying to get the testing regimen out there. But at the same time, you also have to wonder, what is exactly the point of all this testing? I think Donald Trump's biggest failure in dealing with COVID was giving a microphone continuously to Fauci. Well, he continued to go on cameras, take any interview he could to spread doom and gloom and despair and panic. This White House, if they're not going to get this testing in line, but they're still going to have Dr. Fauci out there every day telling people that they're going to die, they're going to do this, the gloom is going to come, we're never going to get rid of these masks. Well, this crisis is going to continue for them, and it's going to be very political in the end.
There's another angle which was highlighted in a Washington Post article recently. The article was called "My Epic, Infuriating Quest for a COVID Test." And in that it said, for the past year, labs and clinics have made good money putting test swabs up noses. Pop-up COVID labs have been created to take advantage of the business opportunity. Private hospitals turn around COVID tests quickly when they want to get patients into elective surgeries. But these places are not primarily concerned about public health, and now they haven't delivered adequately. There's a suggestion there that they are motivated by profits. Has that been an issue all along?
That's been an issue all along. We've heard the stories from the very beginning from nurses and doctors who had to fight to have patients marked as not dying from COVID because hospitals were guaranteed money. The entire American health system, we don't have a problem with access to health care. We have a problem with our basic economics of our health care. So much of it's motivated by money. All the private practices being destroyed, the major corporations taking over, the very thin margins that make it so that in New York City, for example, even on a normal day, even in 2019, emergency rooms were at near capacity every single night. So surprised that they're getting overwhelmed. All of these different aspects, the pushback against ivermectin and other different therapies that have been pushed, saying they can't allow this. We have to come up with new cures. All of this has been around money and around greed. And from the very beginning, when we were trying to get masks to people, get tests to people, get face masks to people, everyone wanted to cut. I was here on the inside in D.C. watching people try to get supplies to folks. Everybody wanted to cut. Everyone wanted to make money. Unfortunately, human greed is also as old as disease.
I mean, there's a new Fox News poll that say Americans are also now paying attention. They're not happy with President Biden's COVID response. 47 approved in 2021. versus 58%. Today, that disapproval rating is at 49%. I mean, it's going down. People are starting to see that he did not deliver the great solution that he promised when he was running. And I just wonder whether or not this is going to be a real issue moving into the midterms and whether we might see the president try and shift in a new direction, because what he's doing clearly isn't working.
It's a massive issue putting into the new terms. The Democrats haven't really come up with a lot of things that they can point to that are really helping people who are struggling, except for some of the stimulus, which maybe I guess they can claim. They haven't been focusing on the needs of the people, and that's going to be something that generally punishes them in this coming election. They've also taken on a lot. They've said that they were going to reverse every bad thing in your life if we just got rid of Donald Trump. Well, of course, that was kind of an insane thing to promise. They were never able to deliver. And all they have left is January 6th, which, of course, we're coming up on the anniversary of that. We're going to hear about it just like it's 9/11. They've got the report coming out from Nancy Pelosi. But I don't think that kind of fear-mongering is what's going to win them re-election. The Democrats in the House and Senate should be worried that they might lose their majorities.